Subcommittee meeting at 5:02. I recognize Public Access is recording this meeting. Cheryl is here. I'm here. Rich is not here. And we'll stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So new business today. Abraham Middle School's program of studies.
Perfect, that's on me, huh? I do have I would defer to you on how you want to proceed. Do you want to go page by page or just talking about the substantive changes? It's totally.
What's your preference?
I think the bigger picture stuff probably makes the most sense.
Okay.
There are some changes, not necessarily in the courses we're offering, but how we're offering them.
Okay.
So that might make the most sense, if
Sure.
you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So really looking through, the initial change is the middle school or the middle levels in the district have curriculum coordinators which help us, both from Green Meadows and Wilbraham Middle, both are in science, social studies, math, and ELA. So there are 4 new people that are going to take on those roles and help us move forward. So Lenny Boucher is our STEM teacher, and she'll be taking over the science role. She's fantastic. Laura Kirk will do our social studies. Darcy Walulak is an 8th grade math teacher, and will take the math role. And Paula Gil-Martin is a 6th grade ELA teacher, and she'll be taking over that role. So those are 4 new people. It's a 2-year position. So that's one change. On all the academic course offerings, there's only really 2 changes that I would in what we're offering. One is this year as a related art, we offered a creative writing class. We are not going to offer the creative writing class next year. Instead, we're going to offer a journalism class and hopefully do a school paper and use that to communicate differently, like kid-driven information and articles. We'll do that quarterly, communicate that with the families as well. So Chris Plass is that teacher who's both computer savvy and tech ed certified, but also English certified, so that's a great spot for him. He's already communicated with the high school. I believe it's Jamie Card who runs the newspaper at the high school. So that's an addition. The other change you will see on that page 3, which is the academic courses, is when I explain the change to Spanish, you'll get to see that 8th grade won't be getting, or 8th grade will have a different offering than 6th and 7th grade from our former 7th grade Spanish teacher. We'll do a world culture language class for 8th grade because every 8th grader, most 8th graders have access to Spanish already. But I'll explain that more when we get through that change. I did add a piece to the document, which on page 6 is a change in our daily schedule, but we're also adding a win block, a what I need block for kids, which is part of our MTSS approach and our Tier 2 approach, both for intervention but enrichment as well. Our current schedule has 3 advisory days every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that's for connection with the kids. We stream a morning show every morning in the classes. We're moving to an advisory Monday and Friday, and then our win blocks will be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And those will all be the same time, which creates a little bit more consistency in our schedule, which anyone who's got anyone near our current schedule it can be a challenge to understand. Tuesdays and Thursdays are different schedules, and there's a rotating drop block schedule. So this will create a little consistency in the time of blocks. And then I did a brief description of the what I need block. I also added on page 7 a piece about Green Meadows and their instruction for academic classes in the middle school. Will be done using Edgenuity, which is a virtual asynchronous learning platform, which is what they did this year. So, and that was in agreement with John and Sharon. So that brings us to the changes in the real real substantive changes I mentioned earlier. So our current schedule has in 6th grade 5 core academic classes. There's math, science, social studies, ELA, and a reading class. I've removed the reading class from 6th grade, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So that leaves the 4 core academic classes. In 7th grade, every student received, again, not every student has access, but most students receive ELA, math, science, social studies, and a semester of Spanish and a semester of STEM. I've taken the STEM and Spanish and moved those into a related arts class, leaving us again with the 4 core academic classes in 7th grade. And the reason I did that was in our current schedule, our classes were long enough where they're about, depending on the day, like I said earlier, it's 57 to 62 minutes long, which meets specifically our illustrative math need to have longer classes to get through what we weren't able to get through the prior year where we had shorter classes. But with that, the function of our schedule created a drop block requirement. So although they were long enough for classes, we were only seeing them about 140 days a year. So you would see 4, and then the next day you would start with the one you didn't see and you'd go through. So by removing reading from 6th grade and removing Spanish and STEM from 7th grade, we will see every kid for 58 minutes, 180 days. So it adds an additional 30 to 40 hours of time on learning for those subjects, which I think is a definite positive to where we want to be and where we're heading. So those classes, yeah, sure.
What would be the negative?
To not have any?
No, the negative, you're saying that this is what you want to do.
Yep.
And there were some positives. Are there any negatives to cutting down to 840 for the 6th graders?
I think you're going to get less of the reading initially because they're not getting a reading class. The change really, I think, will benefit the 4 academics where we add more of the reading into the ELA class, and that's really where it should be anyway. I think that maybe the negative I would say is that although we're keeping STEM and Spanish, which I'll get to in a second, those classes are shorter, so they're not going to have the same 58 to 62 minute that they did this year. So our current 7th grade gets a semester of STEM and a semester of Spanish. So our STEM teacher sees every 7th grader, so there's roughly 200 kids in 7th grade for a semester. Same with our Spanish teacher. So the way that we've structured moving forward, or at least next year, is that being a related art for our STEM teacher, she'll be able to see 300 kids a year instead of 200 kids a year. So she'll see them for a semester the same as she did just 7th grade, and they'll have a different Project Lead the Way module in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, so she'll be able to reach more kids, which ultimately the goal of Project Lead the Way is to continue to grow and expand. And then Spanish, the way that we've thought about the structure is that she will give the same introductory Spanish semester-long course that she did for 7th grade, but she'll do it for half of the 6th grade, and then the following year, the kids that didn't get it in 6th grade will get it in 7th grade. So everybody will have that same access prior to going into 8th grade. I think the negative there is like any Spanish class, even here at the high school, you could take it 6th grade, but you don't see it again until 8th grade. Similar to here, you could take it semester 1 of your freshman year and semester 2 of your sophomore year, but it's, so the gap is, I think, problematic. And again, the classes are short. Those are the big changes really in what we're providing for you to review. We are continuing to move in with illustrative math in 6th and 7th grade. We're meeting with on our science next, I think after our ILT meeting on Tuesday. There's some other conversations we're having about what programs or platforms we're using, but ultimately what we're offering and the courses we're offering have just shifted.
This year with MCAS results for the kids who are in illustrative math?
am I pleased with our overall results?
No.
No, I think we can do better. I think we're still dealing with a little bit of a lag, which I think hopefully, being aligned with the elementaries and as is in the strategic plan is to create more alignment so that the kids that are coming to us are coming with the same skill set that we're providing for them, so we're not, there's more consistency in the language, the approach, and hopefully getting to, well, backing up to last year, we removed the advanced class from 7th grade math, hoping that as we move forward, we won't need that advanced class, that the goal for all of us is to move into an Algebra 1 for every 8th grader, so that there's more access at the high school level for kids as well. That, I think, is a good thing, but, yeah, I mean, we got work to do, sure.
I think that's a great goal.
Questions for me?
No, like my district
That's it?
has a wing block too, so I'm
Yeah.
like, ready, I don't know what that is.
So I mean, I think it's really our first adventure into seeing how it works. They're 24 minutes, so it's not perfect. But I think there's also a lot of the conversations we've had with teachers is it's not just about intervention and support the kids that are struggling, but providing different opportunities for kids who are doing really well. And trying to connect the passion that a teacher has that can be contagious for a kid is also something that we're really hoping will grow out of it too, and fostering that relationship there. I think they'll get access to a lot of different things, term by term, while still providing avenues to support kids differently that need it. So, we'll try. We'll see. We may get it wrong, but we'll adjust.
Well, I'll say this is the second one of these I've seen you present, and each one you've made some pretty significant shifts to try to get more core instruction in there. So I think that alone is praiseworthy, because so many schools do the same thing year after year and hope for things to get better.
I think that's kind of what aggravates my staff a little bit, that this is my 4th year and my 4th schedule, so trying to figure it out. The first year was COVID, I didn't have a lot to do with that, but yeah, I appreciate that. Just trying to get it right.
Well, I think schools are always under construction. You always have to look at what you're doing and see if you can make any tweaks to make things better.
I agree. I think the journalism class will be a great way for kids to be invested in the program too, and what we do, and it'll be entertaining.
I was gonna say, we've had, the middle school has had a wind block for a few years now, and it always is, it's still not perfect, so it's always changing and adapting anyway, so.
I think one of the important things we did was to have people from our building go down to Sewell and see how they do it and talk to them and spend some time with them. So we're not able to meet that same process because of the schedule, but it's good to know what they're being offered in different buildings. So it's important.
And I would just add that I think you're being really responsive to what the teachers are most concerned about. They were concerned about not having enough instructional time with the drop block, with how do I meet kids' needs, whether they're in an intervention or whether it's a enhancement. So, you have to change to be responsive. So that's good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for me? Good.
Nope, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I guess, do you have anything, Cheryl?
No, I thought that was great.
Yeah,
Nothing's perfect, and we
and core,
trying to
core,
make it,
yep,
make it
yes.
I was just at a retirement party, our 4 retirees, we just had a get-together. And they have a poster board on it, and for their amusement, they had pictures of all their administrators since they've been there. And it starts on the side and it goes down and it goes along. So I was pretty amused with it. They were all taking pictures of it.
I hope your picture was the biggest.
I was
No.
the chain and the link, making the chain.
That's actually a cute idea.
That is
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it was funny to see Steve's picture when he got there, his first year there.
Oh, it was
Full
pictures,
head of hair
actual
and-
pictures from when they were in it.
yeah.
Wow.
Barbara
nice.
Lucas was there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
School pictures are an incredibly valuable archive.
Mhm.
Come back to haunt you.
I conveniently forget to go get my picture taken over here.
Me too, they track me down.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
John. I guess we can do a motion to adjourn. It's kind of weird where there's two of us, but hey, Cheryl.
So moved.
All right.
You wanna do the vote?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
guys. Thanks again, John.
Have a great night.
Aye.